Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing the notion of, can you just review my K-1 visa case? This is one of those things that will come up. You know, I provide advisory services. I also process a number of immigration petitions in any given year. Unfortunately, U.S. immigration is becoming increasingly frustrating and just kind of difficult to deal with. I continue to do these cases. If you can't tell from sort of my demeanor, it's not exactly my favorite thing to do because, quite honestly, the system is just so woefully inadequate at this point. And it's very galling to deal with it because I know it can be better. I've dealt with it when it was better. You know, all the technological advances or whatever they want to say that they've done to make the process better, it's only really made it worse and more difficult to deal with, in my opinion. That being said, to get away from my cynicalness on this whole thing, the question posed is as to the issue of just reviewing a given case. Now, I get contacted to do an hour of advisory on cases all the time, where they basically, you know, the case may be stuck, or they may have just started it, or they may be starting. They kind of want some insight. But what I'm talking about here specifically is the notion of just, well, I want to do it all, but I effectively want to pay you to review it, and then if there's any problems, I want to be able to blame you later. I think a lot of people want to contact me to sort of do that, and look, I get it. You know, to quote that old song by Simply Red, money's too tight to mention, I do get it. You know, affordability is an issue. People, you know, that have foreign spouses, foreign fiancés, you know, they may need to be a bit more budget conscious with regard to cost. That being said, you know, it's not really fair to try to like box me into, okay, you have an hour now, basically do my case in that hour. No, that's not what I do. And quite honestly, U.S. immigration cases are a process. It's not even one process either. It's really kind of three cases all in one. You're dealing with sort of the Department of Homeland Security, various sections of that, depending on if a case gets sort of jammed up within that sort of bureaucracy. Then you're dealing with oftentimes the National Visa Center. Then you're dealing with the embassy over here, both of those under the auspices of Department of State. But the thing to take away from this video is, again, yeah, I oftentimes provide advisory services, and we oftentimes assist in actual cases, but you can't sort of do both. If you want to hire us to assist in actually processing the case, we can do that. If you want to hire me to go ahead and do advisory work on what's going on the case, what your case should look like, what type of case you should file, should you even file for a fiancé visa? Is there more advantage going after a different type of visa category? Those are questions that can be answered, but this notion of sort of boxing me in and saying, well, can you review the case that I've already done, and then if something happens, I get to sort of blame you. Hey, sorry, not only is that unfair, but it's really not reasonable, and it's not anything I really want to be doing.